Please start working. Is it just two? Oh, there we go. Sorry, everyone. Zoom decided I needed an update at 5:57 p.m., of course. Just waiting for people to join on. What's this alert now? Sue, right, Amy? Pearl? For a few more people. What does this mean? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
There's some warning thing with my update. What a pain. Well, I made it. All right, 6:01. I'm just wondering if Paula is on yet. I don't know. Let me look at the participant list.
I don't see her on there.
I don't either. Okay, well, I guess we'll just kind of rearrange things and wait. Is Nancy Warren on? It's only a minute after, so maybe we'll just give it a couple more minutes. How's everybody doing?
Good. Melissa, I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to share my screen and it says that the host disabled my screen sharing.
Oh, okay.
Not sure what that means.
Why are you trying to share your screen?
Well, I'm just trying to open up my, I guess, just open up my screen so that.
Okay, I think I clicked it.
Okay, let me see.
It just did an update, so things are moved around. So I apologize, everyone. I was like, oh God, no.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
It's
I'll
not
figure it
working.
out.
Okay.
All right. I'm just waiting to see here. A bunch of more people have joined. Thanks for joining. We're just waiting.
Didn't you say something about you were changing the recording? Maybe that was the reason for the video thing?
No, that wouldn't matter. I just got an update. Now my dog's caught my Wi-Fi cord. This is just going to be one of those nights. Okay, go lay down, stupid. Yeah, and I call him stupid. Sorry. Okay, I'm just waiting a few more minutes just to see. Paula, are you on? Oh. No. Okay, I think Nancy Warren jumped on. We just wanted to give you a quick update here at the top, at the beginning, because there were a lot of developments in Michigan today. So I could, we'd watch all the Great Lakes states. Obviously, the wolf populations are closely related, but I wanted to have Nancy kind of give you an update on what happened in Michigan today. So it's just something on our radar. There may become a time that we're going to need to, rally and do the same thing to prevent what happened in Wisconsin from happening here in Michigan. But Nancy, do you want to go ahead and just give that update?
Sure, I can do that. First off, today was our Natural Resource Commission meeting. And as part of that, the director announced the people who will be participating in the Wolf Management Advisory Council. And they will be tasked with updating our wolf management plan. And the legislature says that the council shall consist of at least the following: a member of the DNR, a member representing and promotes conservation, an organization promoting conservation, a member promoting hunting, a tribal member, an ag interest, and an animal advocacy organization. Well, they announced it. And now, first off, a little bit background. When we first had a wolf management group, the Wolf Advisory Council, there were about 20 organizations. This time, the director decided he would only go with the 6, and one of them being DNR. And so we have an ag representative. We have B. Freelander, who is with the Attorneys for Animals. We have Miles Fallick with the Glyphwick, Amy Trotter for the MUCC. MUCC is one of the biggest hunting organizations in our state. They were the group that fought against the wolf, or fought for the wolf hunt. They pressured the legislature to pass the fourth law that overturned the citizens who said no to wolf hunting. And they have about 15 or so affiliate groups, including hound hunters. So that should really raise the hackles on that one. But then the fifth person is Mike Thorman, who is the Hunting Bear Dog Federation. So we have two groups out of 5 that are staunch hunters. I've already had conversations with Mike, who thinks wolves should be hunted and trapped in Michigan, and Amy Trotter, who believes wolves should be hunted and trapped, and a person from the ag who I happen to know also, because when we were going through the wolf hunt back in 2013 and I was giving interviews all over, he also gave the interview countering everything and thought wolves should be hunted, and he's a big hunter too. So there we go. We are totally outnumbered on this group. And it doesn't even look like, not one wolf education organization was selected, not one person from academia, nobody in the education field, a veterinarian applied. Nope, she wasn't accepted either. So this is what we've got here. And of course, also what happened is those two groups I just mentioned, MUCC and the Hunting Dog Federation, supports and promoted 2 Senate resolutions that already passed in the Senate, asking the DNR to organize and plan for a wolf hunting trapping season across the entire UP in 2021. So there we have it. Oh, and by the way, you'll all recognize another name who testified at the NRC meeting, Mr. Hunter Nation himself. So we can definitely expect that Michigan will be following the same path that Wisconsin followed. It doesn't matter when we, and it's also interesting too, when we attend our meetings, there were probably 7 or 8 of us who spoke against these resolutions and against hunting wolves, against hunting cranes, because that's another resolution passing. They never asked any of us questions, but as soon as we had the guy like Melissa talked about last week, who has all the stories, and in fact, his big story this week was that there were wolves running deer to death. So that was really an interesting thing too. And I did take Melissa's advice, and I've gotten several comments on that one, because I told a story, and I'll just read you one paragraph. And I said, for every person who advocates for trapping wolves, I hope you'll think about a wolf with his foot crushed in a trap for 24 hours, assuming the trapper checks it, waiting to be killed with a bullet. But instead, as one trapper explained, he clubs it over the head, then once stunned, puts one foot over its throat and stomps its ribs, breaking them into its lungs. So that's how a trapper kills a wolf. And then I said, our dogs evolved from the wolf, and once while walking my leash dog on public lands, he stepped in a coyote trap. The image of him struggling, the fear in his eyes, and the squealing and pain, and his squealing and pain still haunts me. Had I been alone, I don't know what I would have done, as I wasn't strong enough to pull out the stake, and it took 2 of us holding my 100-pound German Shepherd to get the trap off. So nobody asked me any questions about that. I did bring up the vicious fight during Wisconsin's recent hunt, and also said, think it can't happen in Michigan? Listen to Mike Avery's podcast, because his guest was calling for using dogs in the hunting of wolves in Michigan. So there you have it. Michigan is, we can't give up. The only thing good to come of this, though, is a reporter has already contacted me and wants to do a Zoom interview with me on Tuesday to address these issues that I had in my comments. So it's so important that we do comments, even if we don't influence the Natural Resource Commission, it's catching the eyes of reporters.
That's right. Okay, well, Nancy started us out sounding, I was like, God, Nancy, you're going to kill these people. You ended it positively, but that's right. I mean, if that's Nancy's story, that's Nancy's story. I mean, the farmers and some of the hunters have, a guy today was talking about how he told me all how he was stalked through the forest, and if we didn't have the wolf hunt, what? Oh, is someone sharing their screen? This is why I don't do it. This is why I have it blocked. I don't know who it is.
Ooh.
It
Okay,
might be me. I'm still trying to
That's
mess
okay.
around. Sorry.
okay, can you unshare it?
How do I do that?
the same way, the same way you shared it.
There should be a button down at the bottom that says stop.
Oh, here, I got
sharing.
it. I stopped. I think I can stop you. No,
Okay.
I can't.
You can't?
Uh-uh.
Wait,
Oh, wait,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Ooh, let's read about this. What's she doing? Magic quadrant for meeting solutions. This meeting's way more exciting than that, so we don't want to learn about that. Okay, see on the bottom where it says share screen, hit stop share. Click over to Zoom.
Yeah, it should be down in the bottom. If you just use your mouse in the black area.
Oh,
Let me see if I can just stop you.
I'm sorry.
Will you just disconnect out of the meeting and rejoin?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Maybe that's easier.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's Judy. It's Judy. Judy, is that okay?
Yeah, Augie.
Yeah. Could you just get out of the meeting and then just rejoin?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, thank you.
And Melissa, I did tell other stories. I did say,
Oh, I'm sure.
I said for every person who claims they climbed a tree, because that was one of the guys who spoke last month. He said he had to climb a tree to avoid wolves. I said for every person who claims they climbed a tree or felt they were stalked or claims to carry a gun for protection from wolves, I can provide you names of dozens of people who traveled hundreds of miles, spending thousands of dollars in the hope of seeing a wolf sign. I can tell you stories of those who I took howling and watched them jump up and down in excitement with tears streaming down their face as they heard wolves howl for the first time. And I had that same reaction more than 25 years ago, and it's still a thrill for me every time I hear them howl or I'm lucky enough to see one.
See, that's great. That's great. Thank you, Nancy, for that update. I am going to see, is Paula, are you on now? She's just having trouble. I got a hold of her. I did, Linda. Once it was shared, she just messaged me. I did turn off screen sharing for all of you. Okay, she's not on yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. Just with the check-in, how's everybody's week been? I would like to know and hear any feedback real quickly if you've heard from any of your legislators that you've been writing. Or did you get a letter to the editor published?
I have contacted my state senator several times by several different methods and asked for feedback and have heard nothing back so far. I know she voted to advance SR 15,
Okay.
but I haven't heard back. I meant to do it today, but I got too busy.
Okay.
I'm going to call her tomorrow and
that's
say, how did you vote?
I think then that's a really good reminder is if you don't hear from them, don't let up. The only
Oh,
time I let up is when they respond.
she's not going to stop hearing from me.
Yeah. Oh, good.
No.
See, that's how I feel too. Anyone else get a hold of their legislator or did get a response back from the Department of Natural Resources or the DNR board?
I got a letter back from Governor Evers.
Okay.
However, the person who wrote, I'll just give you a little bit of an excerpt. He said that DNR consulted with the tribes. And I thought, that's interesting. So yeah. I sent the response I got, I sent it to Abby and to Peter David and to, I can't forget the one up in Red Cliff. and said, thought you'd find this reply interesting.
Dylan
And-
Jennings, I think.
No, it's, but anyway, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. But at any rate, Redcliffe, I sent it up there. And Peter David wrote immediately to the person and said, this was not consultation. We were given less than how many hours to show up for a meeting on Saturday. Anyway, he just
Okay.
let him have it. And then they replied back and said, okay, they will make sure that any future responses include the correct information.
Okay. Let's see. It looks like I got some chats here. Thank you. I did do that. Whoever told me I can turn it off for everyone, I figured it out fine. So Stacy, it says like, oh, there, and Paula's here. So Stacy said she did her 5 times Baldwin, President, Tiffany, Evers, DNR, and Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. Did you get any responses back from any of those people, Stacy? No feedback. Okay. We're going to continue this really quickly just because I know Paula is out in California, probably, I don't know, soaking up the sun and playing in the waves while we're wading through the mud here in the Midwest. But I'm going to go ahead and just turn things over to her. They have an event that's coming up that we are actually all 3 Great Lakes states are involved in. And so I'm just going to, if you can make sure you're muted except for Paula for right now, I'm going to turn it over to her. Welcome, Paula. Paula. Maybe Paula is muted. Oh, I got to quote. Well, until she, I'm gonna try unmuting.
There. Hi.
Paula, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
I sure can. I'm gonna mute myself so that we can all hear you.
Can you hear
Oh, there
me?
she is instead of my dogs.
No, I was just saying that I get confused with all these different time zones, but I'm really happy to be here. Thanks, Melissa, for inviting me. We had such an awesome meeting the other day. So for those of you who aren't familiar with us, we're Apex Protection Project, and we are a rescue, education, and advocacy organization in Southern California. But advocacy is incredibly important to us, and it's a big part of what we do. And we've co-founded an event called Sedona Wolf Week with our partners and best friends, Betsy and Time, and a Plan B to Save Wolves. And it's hosted in Sedona when we can do it live. However, it's becoming virtual. But and it's usually held either spring or fall. This year it's scheduled for November. But we felt that with all of the emergent things going on with wolves in the country, it's just too devastating to wait for that. We have so many people asking how they can help. And we've been learning, obviously, that it's very different from state to state, region to region, on what constituents can do to make a difference and what non-constituents can do to make a difference. So we decided that we would start something called the Sedona Wolf Week Satellite Series, which is going to be just a couple of one-day conferences held throughout the year leading up to Sedona Wolf Week in November that are going to hopefully inspire people and really unite people, because we've got to all be on the same page, and it's got to be one voice. And I know there's so many people who want to do something but don't know how. So this particular one coming up next Friday on the 26th is dedicated to what people can do now to advocate for wolves before it's too late, because it is so urgent. Especially with you guys in Wisconsin, it's just out of control and everyone wants to be able to help. So Melissa and Nancy and a couple of other people in your region, Jill, Fritz, and are getting together. And throughout the day, if you go to sedonawolfweek.org, you'll see the schedule there. And we just asked for a donation of $11 to help with the paperwork, because we're going to be sending out pamphlets to everybody beforehand, and it helps with the throwing of the event. But it's an all-day program, and we're doing it region by region, and we have the experts who are really in the know on what to do, telling everybody, breaking down what is happening, why, and being really upfront about it. And what can we do as constituents and non-constituents for each state, for each region, and even nationally. So again, it's next Friday. It starts from 11 to 6 Pacific time. And if you go to sedonawolfweek.org,
We're losing you a little bit, Paula, but I did put the link to the event in our chat. Oh, I think we might have lost her. Maybe. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and just, I think she gave us a lot of information. Friends of Wisconsin Wildlife is participating in that event in the Great Lakes portion of it, and it's all online. So, you know, if you're not doing anything next Friday, you know, I think it's a good opportunity and a good opportunity to find out what's going on in other states. I think she's absolutely right. Each state is going to have a different tactic, right? You know, where as in Minnesota has a Democratic governor and a Democratic legislator, and the lieutenant governor is native, and he's already said we're not going to have wolf hunting in Minnesota. Their tactics are going to be different than, you know, Wisconsin and Michigan, where you know, politics are a little bit different. Anyway, I'm just going to finish up these comments here real quickly. You got a canned email from Anna Schneider from the Preston Coles office. I got the same. I know a lot of people did. So yeah, we'll, you know, Paula's event is in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, in 2 weeks. Thank you. I don't know what day this is or what time of day. Ever since the pandemic, I swear I ask Alexa, what, I better not say it or she'll answer me back. But you know, I never know what time it is. Anyway, I'm kind of rushing through. I wanted to give everybody a chance because Linda is on this call, and after my presentation, we get into the discussion. She wants to kind of tell you guys what it's like to live in Rob Schaffelt's district, and you know what's going on up there, and if you know, to try to connect with more people up in, you know, northwestern Wisconsin where things are really bad. So that being said, I am going to share my screen, and maybe I'll say yes. Okay, good. And share. Okay, whoops. And of course me. All right, let me get this going here real quickly. Go back to the beginning. So this is going to be some boring stuff a little bit, but it's how you change things. It's not always fun and glamorous. A lot of it is really sitting through a lot of boring meetings. And one of those exact, oh, how do I minimize this? Oh, there we go. One of those exact, oh, sorry, hang on 1 second. Oh, gosh darn it. You can see everything I downloaded today about bears. Oh, I'm sure you can see me. I can't see you. That's okay. I'm gonna just move this down. I'm gonna get the hang of this being the host thing eventually here. Again, we're Friends of Wisconsin Wolf and Wildlife. This is our website. You saw this slide. It's not gonna be real fancy because I did the same. I used the same thing, but okay, let's see. Today, again, we're gonna talk about, damn it. Okay, today we're going to talk about the Natural Resource Board. And again, last week we talked about, you know, making sure we show up in April for that. I know that seems a long ways away, but it's not. It's only 30 days away. And, you know, we want to get you to be able to practice testifying in front of the Natural Resource Board. I don't know yet what their agenda is. It's not out yet. Doesn't matter what the agenda is, unless for some reason they put fall wolf hunting on the agenda, which I doubt. But we don't know what their agenda will be. So we're not going to go over what to do to testify on something on the agenda because we're hoping to go off agenda. All right, there I am. There I am being mad at a Natural Resource Board meeting, but no, the Wisconsin, the NRB. So you'll hear us refer to that often. And I realized, you know, this is one of those things with when it's nice having fresh ears and eyes, because, you know, I'll be talking shop to someone and they're like, what the hell is the NRB, after they're done talking to me and didn't ask me. So it's the Natural Resources Board. And so they set all the policy for the Department of Natural Resources. And they exercise authority and responsibility in accordance to governing state laws. So what they do is anything that the department decides, a management plan, a interdepartment change to a teal hunting season, pollution, environmental controls, ATV trails. I mean, anything that has to do with natural resources has to go through the Natural Resource Board to get either approved or denied. And who sits on this board? So I know we talked about this briefly, but it's an appointed position. So the NRB members serve, they don't get paid. Well, I don't think they get paid except for their expenses. And then the bigger part is, like, oh, I want to get on this board. That's great. I would encourage anybody who wants to get involved in any aspects of politics or in this process to do so. With the NRB appointment, it also has to be confirmed by the Senate. So our state Senate now is overwhelmingly conservative. So we have submitted names and have encouraged our governor's office and to let them know, which the wildlife advocates and environmentalists that we think will do a good job and can pass all the requirements. There are a ton of requirements. So it depends on where you live, and you have to have held a hunting, fishing, or trapping license. There's a lot of different requirements on there. We found some people. All we know is that they're looking on considering those names. There are more board appointments coming up very soon. So it's not something that's out of the question, but it is something, where you really have to be screened because they will go over everything. So anyway, they've set all the policy for the DNR, and I think I kind of skipped around here, but land acquisitions, property management, budget proposals. So even the budget, it has to be approved by the NRB, and which is huge. I don't know how much you know about that. We don't need to go into all that right now. This is just your introduction and overview. There are still things I'm confused about with the Natural Resource Board. So if it seems confusing, don't worry, gonna be time for questions. April's meeting, and I put, we're not on the agenda. So there are different steps if something's on the agenda, like when they had the emergency meeting for wolf hunt, that was on the agenda. So they had different rules on how you could, if you wanted to do oral testimony or written testimony. This will not, what we're going to try to do is not on the agenda. So I'm only going over that now. And I'm going to show you even on their website. But so this would be for April. And if you're hitting chat, I will get to it as soon as I can. So this is how to testify during what they call the citizen participation. So that means any concerns anybody has in all of Wisconsin about any natural resource matter, and it's usually at the end of the meeting. So if it's a hot button topic on the agenda, you might be wild, but not usually. Usually they wrap up, they're from like 9 to noon, but they will also say if it's really a lot of people, they'll do it first. And I have a feeling that if we can get everybody signed up to testify, they'll do this for us first because they'll know that people get mad. So here are just some of those rules. So if something is in litigation, they don't accept testimony on that. This wouldn't be. The start time for citizen participation will be listed on the agenda. Again, they don't have the agenda out for April, so I can't give you that information yet. And that's also coming up in about 5 weeks from now. They'll have the agenda out soon. I am almost 100% sure that this will be by Zoom. I don't think Governor Evers is going to authorize public meetings with the agency in person probably for a while yet. But organizations. So for example, when we're doing this, you wouldn't want to be like, I'm speaking from Friends of the Wisconsin Wolf. No, you're just speaking for yourself. So it'll be, each organization can only have one person speak on any subject. So that's just something to know. You have a maximum time limit of 5 minutes. They never let us have 5 minutes. So plan on speaking for only 3 minutes at this. They can ask you questions after what you present. That sometimes happens. I get it because they like to really let me have it at the end, but that's just me and I'm used to it. So they in general do not do that to an average citizen. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then, they really encourage us to confine our remarks to broad general policy issues than day-to-day operations of the DNR. And that's what we'd be doing. I can't think of a day-to-day operation that I would testify on. And then if it's something complex, we're gonna, ask them for. So maybe this in April, we're gonna on the next slide, just focus on one thing for the next meeting. But then maybe we want to talk about game agency reform or how the DNR is losing money as they lose hunters. That's where number 7 would come in. You know what I mean? So that's a complex issue. So you can mail in written comments, or you can mail in all the science you have on an issue, so that you can say in your testimony, since you only have 3 minutes, you've already reviewed the science that I have sent you. So that is a really helpful thing. And I will tell you that Lori Ross, who is the person who is the in-between between the public, us, and the Natural Resource Board, is about the nicest, most cooperative, sweet lady. I don't think she has a mean bone in her body, and she's so helpful. Remember when I was starting out, I called her and asked her a whole bunch of questions, and she was more than happy to handhold me through the process. So that's, I guess, hey, there's something that's good. And this is her. So this will need, Dana, wish this thing would stop doing that, but oops, sorry guys. I've had a long day. Yeah, but so for our next meeting, we talked about this before, is to get all of us to show up at this meeting without them kind of knowing. They will know, but they'll only know a few days ahead of time. So we need to let them know that we need to register to testify by April 9th at 11 a.m. So we need to let them know, either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I think we should set a date of doing it, by April 7th, to let them know that we're going to we want to participate in the citizen participation portion of the Natural Resource Board meeting. And this is the woman's information. Again, I'm going to show you one other thing. We created a new spot on our website. All this information will be up. So that's her phone number. She's very responsive. Oh my God, I'm not kidding you guys. Like she's given me tissue when I've been in a meeting crying in the bathroom because I was so frustrated. She's just a really nice lady. So don't be intimidated by that. You're not going to get some jerk. So I just am going to go to this briefly because this will be on our site and something that I think that you should explore. So here we go. There's a lot of information here. Hopefully, if it works in time here, where I just talked about how to participate in these meetings. So here's how to do it on the agenda. I'm going a little fast here. The deadlines. So it's always the 11 a.m. on the Friday before the Tuesday of the meeting, which is usually Wednesdays. It's a 2-day meeting. Don't worry about that. Sorry, it is confusing. But I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that's available, because actually their website here is, I think, pretty good. There she is again, Lori Ross, that helps us. I wanted to show you along the sides too. So if you ever want to see what the agenda is at the next Natural Resource Board meeting, all you need to do is just click on this agendas, and it will tell you and give you all the materials you need. That's also webcast and stream live and available on demand if you ask. So there's, I almost was going to show you what it was like at the Wolf meeting, but I don't want to relive it. But they'll have some archives. They have an archive of every agenda ever, but they only keep up the last 2 months on the website if you want to review those. You can go and learn about all the members of this Natural Resource Board. I can tell you right now, it is not favored for wolves. We've got Dr. Pren. So he's the one that's coming up in May. Enemy numero uno, Kaz. His doesn't expire for a long time. So we're stuck with him for a little bit. Bill Smith is good. He was former appointed. Julie Anderson, hers is also coming up here in May of 2021. William Bruins, he's with the Farm Bureau, not a friend. Terry, not a friend. But his is coming up in 2023. So you can see what I mean. Like, you can find out what chairs they're in. And then I just wanted to go over one more thing. Probably better than this podcast that I am trying so hard to do these nice. I want them to be casual. If you want a very non-casual, they have on here under history and role, they explain to you how everything works. It's really boring. There they all are, patting themselves on the back for killing things. But they have a slideshow presentation right here on their website. So just explore this because it's very cool. And they actually do a good job going through this guy says citizen input is key. Okay, well, here we come. And I don't think he really believes that, but maybe he does. The last thing I want to show you on this site is the most important thing, and how I always know stuff's coming up, where I'm always like, oh God, no, is I sign up to get the emails from the department. So you can sign up right here, or you can get text messages. My suggestion is if you want not a lot of text messages, get the email because it's too much. I had to unsubscribe from the text messages. But you put in your email, and I'm just going to do a fake, well, not a fake one, but I'm just going to show you because it does get a little complicated later on. I'm just using my own personal email here to do this. Once you hit submit, you can go to subscriber preferences here. I know that's a lot of information, but I just want you to know it will be available to you. Whoops, preferences. Whoops, I messed up. Sorry, guys. Hang on one second. Oh, here you go. You can do it, get it weekly. You can get it daily. And I don't, of course. Of course. Okay, well, I just want to try one more time. So I'm going to submit to it. Now I'm going to finish this. Yes, I consent. You can unsubscribe here. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. You can ask for only certain subjects to be emailed to you. Now, look how many things are on here. This is why I had to go back through and be like, oh my God, this is too much. Like I care about invasive species, but I can't be getting 40 emails a week about them. But for our the topic we're talking about now, the Natural Resource Board and agenda is an automatic. You get that no matter what you sign up for here. So then they will email you the agenda as soon as it's out. That's very helpful because then I have time to be like, what horror is going to be on the next agenda and get myself ready for it. So that agenda, that's just something you might want to sign up for, is to just sign up with the department. I click often on wildlife management and I leave it all checked. Now you can see how much is here, but it will give you all that wolf information too. And it will let you know as soon as before it's ready for the public. So it will let you know when has a wolf killed a calf or a dog. It sends you an alert. That one I have texted to me as well. You can go down here and find out what's going on with wolf management plan updates. So it's just a way, and of wolf season, if you want to know about black bear hunting, any of these things, you can check those off. And I'm always thinking more information's better, but you can find out. I get a text every time a wolf kills an animal in this state, and so which is great because then I can go and do the research and find out what happened. And actually, so we'll often reach out to the farmer and ask if we can help them build fences or get them in touch with experts. Most of the time it's hound dogs, so we do nothing except for get angry. So, okay, that is all I wanted to do with that. I gotta move this little guy to get back to where I was, I think. Somehow. Oh, crud, how do I do it? Oh, wait. Oh, darn it. Always is the hard part when I can't move this bar. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that's the, I know that was a lot of information I just threw at you. We'll have time for questions. Gotta grab it like, there we go. Okay, so that is in that slideshow. If when it's up, she'll probably be tomorrow. It depends on how Britt, who does an awesome job. She's also a full-time student. So we're giving her, we got to give her a little space. She's got a life. But this is where you can just click on that and it will take you to everything I just showed you. Just explore around the website. Okay. Let me just have a sip of coffee here.
Hey,
All
Melissa.
right.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, this is Amy. I just want to say, I missed everything you've said to this point because I was just on the DNR finally called me back.
Oh, good.
Some guy from the Rhinelander was like, I understand you've called several times. So,
Okay.
didn't get anywhere. But I guess this is the guy putting together the ultimate report of everything,
Okay.
that they're reporting on. And he was pretty reasonable.
Okay.
But he basically, hides behind that the 24-hour notification
Sure.
is an NRB thing. So just like you were talking about, he hides behind the number of licenses awarded, again, an NRB issue. So a lot of the responsibility of the DNR is completely, just hiding behind that.
Okay. Yeah. And I think this is important. I'm almost done. And then I want to just kind of open it up
Go right ahead.
Sorry about that. And my goal is to be done at 6:45, so we have 30-minute discussion time. So anyway, what do I say? This is, I think, when we last 2 fireside chats, this is my personal belief. Like Nancy was sharing in the beginning, we're going to, all of us, is what are we going to talk about at this natural resource board meeting? So this is what I think we should do. If you disagree, you can do what you want. I'm not your boss, but I think if we all come together and, there's 40 of us testifying. So bring your wolf story from last week's chat, the storytelling. That is up on our advocacy tools page again. And your experience. What was your personal experience before the hunt with wolves, during the hunt, after this hunt? And we want to ask them to stop this fall's hunt. I think that should be our main objective until the effects of this emergency hunt can be determined and our new wolf management plan is accepted by the Natural Resource Board. So that's looking in about a year from now. I don't think we should come in there and be like, no wolf hunting, even though we all agree none of us believe in wolf hunting. I think if we just say, just stop the fall hunt until we have a solid, well-developed wolf management plan, the tribes have been consulted and they've worked on it and it's been finalized. You want to make this personal as you can, but you want to be factual. And, there's definitely a part in here that I think you should tell the department what they've done. What have they done to you? Hold them accountable. It is our job to hold our government accountable. That's just how it is. And it's not always fun. In 3 minutes, you got to do that. So maybe 5, maybe they'll give us 5. I doubt it. If we were a farmer, we'd want to. So I want to just show you again, I'll show you the advocacy tools page. But I think if we all come there and say, this is what you did to me. This is my personal relationship with wolves. This is what I went through during this hunt and after this hunt. I will here and dedicated to participate more often. And I want you to wait for any wolf hunting until the effects of this hunt are determined and a new wolf management plan has been implemented. That will take care of that 350 crap number they keep talking about. Because I'm telling you, if they have this fall hunt, we're going to see a massacre bigger than this emergency hunt we just had. Unfortunately, that's my belief. Again, who we are, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Again, this is going over that plan. So, in March, we're developing our stories, we're learning, and we're preparing to get to this NRB meeting. I've actually updated this some on the website, but keep writing those letters to the editor. Keep calling your legislators. Keep calling. Believe me, even if they're like, oh God, it's Melissa Smith again. Now I just go, hey, it's Melissa. And they're like, yeah, no fall wolf hunt. And I'm like, yep. And they're like, okay. So, by calling more, I'm not saying be obnoxious, that's my job, but by calling more, you can also just start to develop a closer relationship with your legislator, and that's also helpful. So keep writing, and then again, do those letters by hand if you can, and on stationery, I don't care, on a back of an envelope, it doesn't matter. Your legislator will read. They will do it. The governor will read a handwritten letter. Preston Cole will read your personal, they will read this. If you handwrite it, put it in an envelope, because they usually think it's from a sweet little old lady. They're not opening, expect the fire that's about to come out from me, right? So, and also the nice people, I think they also appreciate it, and it shows we really care. We're taking a lot of time. It's easy to hit a petition or send an email, but and then working on developing that story that you're going to tell at the Natural Resource Board. And that's it. That's all I have. And I think I did it. I think I made it. Ooh, a minute early. Yes. So I'm just shooting. Sorry, guys. Stop share. Okay, and there I am again. So now we're just kind of open. He just.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So now I just sort of, and then next week we're going to have Diane Kane, who's here. I don't know if she wants to wave so everybody can see her. She's on the Conservation Congress. I served for a while and I did my 10 years and I got out. But she is on the Wisconsin Conservation Congress. That's something coming up really quickly too. So I don't want to overwhelm you and be like, oh my God, there's too much. We have time. So next week, or wait, was the 25th? The 25th, in 2 weeks, we're gonna teach you about the Wisconsin Conservation Congress. I know it's coming up. Don't worry about it. For this week and next week for my birthday next week, we'll be on the call for my birthday. Make sure if you can handwrite me a birthday card. No, I'm kidding. And write some letters, write a letter to the editor. And if you can be familiar more, go to that website with the Natural Resource Board, who they are in the process. That would be the best birthday gift I could ever get. So I am just gonna now open it up. It looks like I can't, Nancy is usually my person who reads down the messages while I'm talking, but let me go way back up. Yes, and the recording of the meeting, this is the part where I turn off recording the meeting. So that you all can feel free to speak freely. And I'm going to do that right now. This will be available on our website as early as tomorrow. So if you missed it, no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and stop, and then we can just open it up as a discussion.
Right.
And stop.
Melissa, one of the questions